The rain lashed against the windows of Thornwood Manor, a towering, gloomy house at the edge of the village. Inside, 12-year-old Clara sat huddled on the cold stone floor of her attic room. The room was sparse, with only a thin mattress, a rickety chair, and a small trunk that held all her belongings. Her only source of light was the flickering candle she had managed to save from the kitchen. Clara had lived with her Aunt Agatha for nearly a year, ever since her parents had died in a tragic accident. Aunt Agatha, a sharp-featured woman with a perpetually sour expression, made no secret of her dislike for Clara. She treated her niece more like a servant than a family member, forcing her to scrub floors, clean fireplaces, and fetch groceries in the rain. But Clara wasn't the type to give up easily. Beneath her quiet demeanor was a resilient spirit. She had one treasure that kept her going, a small leather notebook her mother had given her before the accident. Clara wrote in it every night, pouring out her dreams, frustrations, and, most importantly, her plans to escape Thornwood Manor and find a place where she truly belonged. A mysterious note. One stormy evening, as Clara scrubbed the kitchen floor, Aunt Agatha appeared in the doorway. "Clara, finish quickly and bring me tea," she snapped, her cold eyes glaring down at the girl. "And don't even think about burning extra candles. They're expensive." "Yes, Aunt Agatha," Clara replied meekly, though inside, she simmered with frustration. After her aunt stomped out, Clara noticed something unusual under the kitchen table, a folded piece of paper. Curiosity sparked, she tucked it into her apron pocket. Later that night, in the dim glow of her candle, Clara unfolded the paper. The note was hastily written, but the words sent a chill down her spine. "The truth about your parents lies in the library. Trust no one." Clara's heart pounded. The library was a room she had been forbidden to enter. Aunt Agatha kept it locked, claiming the books were too valuable for a child's careless hands. Why would there be a message about her parents there? A midnight discovery. Determined to uncover the truth, Clara waited until the house was silent. She tiptoed down the creaky stairs, careful to avoid the step that always groaned loudly. The library door loomed ahead, its dark wood polished to a shine. Clara reached into her pocket and pulled out the small hairpin she had hidden earlier. She had practiced picking locks before, just in case she ever needed to escape Thornwood Manor. After a few tense moments, the lock clicked and the door swung open. The library was unlike any room in the house. Tall shelves stretched to the ceiling, filled with dusty books. A large desk sat in the center, covered in papers and an old lamp. Clara's eyes scanned the room, searching for a clue. Then she saw it, a worn leather journal sitting on the desk. She opened it, her hands trembling. The journal belonged to her father. Inside were detailed entries about a family dispute, mysterious letters, and something called the Thornwood inheritance. The final entry was incomplete, ending abruptly. "Agatha must not." The sound of footsteps made Clara's blood run cold. She quickly shoved the journal into her apron and hid behind the curtains. Aunt Agatha entered, carrying a lantern. Her face was twisted with anger. "I know someone's been in here," she hissed, her eyes scanning the room. After a tense moment, she left, slamming the door behind her. Clara exhaled shakily. She had found a piece of the puzzle, but it raised more questions than answers. The Thornwood inheritance. Over the next few days, Clara secretly read through her father's journal. She learned that Thornwood Manor had been in their family for generations and was tied to a significant fortune. However, her parents had been embroiled in a bitter conflict with Aunt Agatha over who should inherit it. The journal hinted that Agatha had done something terrible to gain control of the manor. Clara realized the accident that had killed her parents might not have been an accident at all. Fueled by anger and determination, Clara devised a plan. She would gather evidence and expose Aunt Agatha's schemes. The hidden room. One evening, while cleaning the dining room, Clara overheard Aunt Agatha speaking to a visitor, a lawyer. "The inheritance is mine," Aunt Agatha said sharply. "Clara doesn't need to know anything about it. She's just a child." Clara's mind raced. She had to act quickly. She remembered her father's journal mentioning a hidden room in the manor where important documents were kept. If she could find it, she might uncover the proof she needed. Late that night, Clara explored the house, tapping on walls and floors, searching for anything unusual. In the basement, she found it, a loose panel in the wall. Behind it was a narrow staircase leading to a small, dusty room. Inside, Clara found a locked chest. Using the same hairpin from before, she opened it. Papers spilled out, old letters, deeds, and legal documents. Among them was a will, clearly stating that Thornwood Manor and its fortune were meant to go to Clara's parents, and then to Clara herself. Clara's heart soared. She finally had the evidence she needed. The next morning, Clara stood in the dining room, clutching the will. Aunt Agatha was sipping her tea, oblivious to what was coming. "Aunt Agatha," Clara said, her voice steady. "I know the truth." Agatha's teacup froze midair. What are you talking about? Clara held up the will. This proves the manor and the inheritance belong to me. You lied and kept it from me. Agatha's face turned pale, then furious. You little brat. You think anyone will believe you? She lunged toward Clara, but Clara was ready. I've also found my father's journal, Clara said firmly. It details everything you've done. If anything happens to me, people will know. Agatha froze, realizing she was trapped. In the days that followed, Clara took the will and journal to the local authorities. Aunt Agatha was arrested for forging documents and attempting to steal the inheritance. For the first time in a year, Clara felt free. She moved back into Thornwood Manor, but this time, it felt different. The house no longer seemed dark and oppressive. With the inheritance, she planned to repair the manor, open its doors to other orphans, and create a home filled with kindness and warmth. As Clara stood in the garden, feeling the sunlight on her face, she smiled. She had faced her fears, uncovered the truth, and reclaimed her life. Thornwood Manor was no longer a place of sorrow, it was a place of hope. And for the first time, Clara felt truly at home.